Hello everybody, welcome to episode 16 of the Retro Rumble podcast. I'm your host David White, and today we've got a bit of a special episode because we at the team Culture of Gaming are coming up with another list, another top 50 list this time, of our top 50 favorite video game weapons. So we thought as a bit of a special, just like our last first-person shooter episode, that we would do our personal top 5 weapons as well. So I'm joined by Anthony and returning. Actually, Andrew, have you been on the show before? Haven't you, Andrew?
I feel like I was on the reoccurring episode ones.
Yeah, it's like 1.2
yeah,
something.
episode 1 and episode 1.2 and all those ones I think I was on.
Oh yeah, you think you're on all of our several pilot episodes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we're on the very first horribly rough one we did just before E3, right? If I recall.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, that was a terrible episode. And I was so I don't know. I'm quite nostalgic about that because I wasn't nostalgic, but I always look back at that because.
Did we lose him? We lost David.
Oh no!
Yeah,
He's
Discord
gone.
has been a fantastic piece of software today.
I was gonna say hardware then. It's like, it's not a computer.
I know, right? I was gonna say that too. And I'm like, no, this is software. So yeah, well, hopefully we can get David back here in a second. Let's see if he even noticed that he's left. Let's make sure we message him.
Oh no! Oh, I think Discord's gone down.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if the stream is still going. Let's check here.
Yeah, stream's still going. That's funny as I can't send messages in Discord. It's had Discord's had some server errors today, and then right before we were about to go live, it was like, no, we don't want you to log in. We'll just connect for 10 seconds or 10 minutes, and it seems to be doing the same thing again today. So
yeah, we might have to postpone then.
Yeah, we might have to jump out and then jump back in at a later date, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Looking forward to this episode, so that's a bummer, but oh well.
Yeah. Oh well. Unfortunate. Oh well. That's Retro Rumble episode 16.
He's back in. Let's see if he's.
Oh, now I
there.
can type. Ooh.
Doing it live.
Doing it live, exactly. So, a random question I have. What have you been playing this week? If you can rejoin, we may as well keep going if we can.
Yeah. A lot of Tekken 7 came out with a couple new characters. I've been kind of dabbling with Armor King, really fun character.
Yeah.
And then a lot of randomly Call of Duty, the Call of Duty multiplayer. Just been.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like such an easy thing to like turn your brain off and just like play. And like matches are quick, like 10 minutes a piece. So, like you just play for like a couple matches, have my fill, and then move on.
Cool. Have you checked out the the Battle Royale yet for Call of Duty?
I haven't. It's like one of those things where like there's a lot of like pressure and anxiety. I feel like when I play the Battle Royale stuff that I don't like. Compared to like when I play multiplayer, it's like I don't care if I die because I just respawn and keep going.
Okay, cool. Did you see the Game Awards last night or yesterday, whatever time it was?
A little.
Yeah?
I caught the last like 2 awards.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on all the announcements. It seems like there's a good amount of announcements this year.
Yeah, they're about. Oh, well, they had a lot of world premieres, so it was about 20 or so, I reckon, that they had, maybe even more than that.
Oh wow, yeah, I don't think I've seen them all. Then I have to go through and look.
But yeah, like they had a lot. They're basically calling the Game Awards now a mini E3, like a one-day E3, because they announced so much stuff.
Right. Yeah. It was neat. Like I'm glad that they're finally getting the Game Awards like.
Yeah,
together.
Definitely. When it first started out, it started in 2012, didn't it? I think.
Something like that, yeah. It was on Spike TV. It was weird.
Angry Joe went to the first one, or the second one, I think it was, and I was watching his video, and he's like, "This is so bad. They don't care for gamers." And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend who works at Ubisoft was watching because she's like, well, I kind of have to watch just in case our games win anything. Because Starlink and Assassin's Creed Odyssey were both nominated.
Yeah, okay.
For something, I'm not sure what exactly.
I think AC was Game of the Year and also RPG.
Yes, and I think the voice actor is nominated as well.
Yeah, okay.
And then Starlink was like best family game.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think of Starlink?
I have not played a single.
Okay. I was gonna say because you gave me that code for it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't like it, to be honest. Not to sound ungrateful or anything, but
no. Well, at least you didn't buy it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's like a weird like tank game, basically, right?
Well, basically, yeah, it's a lot like No Man's Sky as far as the different planets and just the look of it. I reckon they've based a lot of it around No Man's Sky. And I find it very repetitive. It's all it basically is go here, get this, come back. Go here, get this, come back, and that's it.
But how is Star Fox?
Star Fox is cool. His shit's cool. The voice acting's, I think for him, is the same as what it was during Star Fox Zero or something like that.
Bad.
Yeah, bad. He's overly confident. I don't kind of like overly smart / confident video game characters. Slippy is not annoying, which is good. That's the main point. It blends, like, for Star Fox, he's got his own kind of story missions and whatnot. So it all kind of comes in together with the main Starlink missions. Like, that's the main story mode. But Star Fox has his own set of side missions, I suppose, which is obviously tracking down Star Wolf, and I have no idea what happens from there. So I haven't finished it yet, but it's a good time killer anyway. I don't mind it. Yeah.
But yeah, she was watching it, like going back to like, you know, how bad the Game Awards were, and she was talking about when they gave Sonic Fox the like Player of the Year or whatever.
Yep.
And she was like, "Who was the guy that was presenting it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh my God, that's Joe McHale." He's like, he was kind of a jerk. I'm like, yeah, you know, he actually co-hosted the Game Awards like 5 years ago, and it was terrible. And she's like, no,
no, yeah.
Go back and watch some of that one, Ellen.
Yeah. David, have you rejoined us or?
I have, I think.
You have. Cool. There we go.
Okay. I don't know. This is great. This is great entertainment. Yeah, I see you.
We've been chatting up a storm about Game Awards and all that kind of thing. I think.
Yeah, I went on Twitch to see what was going on because I thought for a second that I was the only one streaming.
Okay.
And now I can hear you on Twitch as well. So let me just get back off that.
Production values.
We're doing it live. Yeah.
Well, that's part of the fun, I guess.
Yeah,
live
exactly.
isn't the 100% smooth rather. So where did I disappear, guys?
You were just.
Did we just restart?
Yeah, you were just mainly saying that we were here.
I needed this monstrosity, otherwise.
You were just basically saying that we were here and we were gonna say hi, and then you left.
Yeah,
that was it. I was just introducing you guys, and I was like, "Yep, see you guys. Try. I'm off.
Have a good podcast."
I've done my part, and just let you guys chat.
Yeah.
So shall we just restart from the well, what if it does it again? Shall we just restart from the beginning, like nothing happened?
Well, Andrew and I have kind of said what we've been playing and whatnot. So why don't we just say what have you been playing, David? And we'll go from here.
Well, I can probably use the wonder of editing magic, and I could probably make it sound like nothing bad actually happened by just diving in and saying, well, I've not been playing very much actually.
Yeah.
At all. I'm just literally trying to think. This week's been a bit of a blur, really. Still been toying around with my Philips CDI, just getting to grips with that. So it's a very unique and interesting machine.
Yeah.
Not very good games, but it's such a unique console for its time that it's just kind of a fascinating little curio, really.
It sounds like
because,
a video player.
It basically is in a way, because when it was first launched, one of Philips's biggest missteps was that they didn't promote it as a video game console. They kind of went down a road of it being like an entertainment or edutainment machine.
Yeah.
So the games were terrible. Like they weren't even games; they were just essentially software. And because they realized that wasn't actually making sales and it was really failing badly, they then tried to sort of subtly stealth convert it, if you like, into more of a games console, and they started releasing actual games.
Yeah.
But they obviously insisted that the games would utilize the video element of the console by having videos, real-time video overlaid onto gameplay. So you'd have like real actors in the middle of the game and stuff like that.
Yep.
Which to look at it is actually quite impressive and looks really cool and is quite unique. So I can't think of many games that actually really do that from that era, like the PlayStation and N64 and Saturn didn't really do it. So some of the games are very interesting, but they're mostly garbage to the point where you think, how did this? There's so much focus on the video side of it, and we're to such a point where the actual gameplay feels really small and insignificant.
Yeah.
So the games feel almost depressingly pointless. There's one particular game called It was a series, or at least I think it's only 2 games, called Midway. What's it called? Mystic Midway.
Yeah.
And they one's pretty decent. It's like a rail shooter. And the other one is one called, I forget what it's called actually, but it's just a really lame what's the word? What do they call those things at fairs where you shoot at bottles and?
I've got no idea, but I know what you mean.
Basically, it's like that. It's a really horrible version of that, with like skeletons that try to be hip and cool by going, "Hey, buddy," when you shoot them and stuff like that. It's so cheap and nasty. But there are some good games, but you have to refine them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Just toying around with the old Philips CDI and just getting to grips with that. But despite it being, I will concede it is a bad console.
Yeah.
I am happy to see it on my shelf. So it's a big tick on the old wish list.
Cool.
Right, guys. Have you got into news much? Or you just did the intro, right? What you doing?
We just had a chat about the Game Awards and just what we've been playing and whatnot. That's it, basically.
God of War took you down, right, for Game of the Year?
Yeah.
Yep.
If it was...
How's that been received?
I like that game a lot.
I actually found it surprising that Red Dead won so much yesterday and not God of War. Red Dead won like... What? Yeah, they won like 5 awards, I think it was.
Oh, right, sorry. I thought we said Red Dead 1. I thought you were talking about the first game, like as in 1.
No.
But no, yeah, I gotcha.
And God of War like just snuck in at the end and were like just took out Game of the Year, which is obviously the highest award, but I was surprised they didn't win more, to be honest.
It won Best Narrative, or Best direction, I think.
Okay. I did miss a bit of it, so I might have missed that part.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're obviously working on our own, aren't we? Not that I have much input on that, but any news on our own Game of the Year, and are we gonna do much?
So that's all going to be happening at the first week of January. Unlike the actual Game Awards, we wait for everything to come out before doing it.
That's a very good point, yeah.
Just Cause is not going to be getting any awards this year.
Oh yeah, I saw your images of that. It was buggy as...
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
It's already out, so I can say whatever I want to it about it now.
You working on the review, Anthony? Or?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's going to be
just
getting
above,
like a
let's
5
go,
or so
let's
from me.
rate it.
It's bad.
That's
Like,
out of 10, by the way, listeners. That's not 5 stars or anything like that.
no, 5 out of 10. The graphics are being compared to a PS2 game. You're standing still. There's lines everywhere. Like it hasn't been finished off. It hasn't been polished. It hasn't been rendered correctly. It's giving people motion sickness as well who play it.
Wow.
My brother-in-law has actually testified to that. He was here the other night and only played it for about half an hour and was full on sick as. And it's the plot and the story and everything. It's non-existent. There is no need for chaos anymore, which was the main element that made up all the other 3 games that they've done. It's just bad. It's bad. Although the weather is pretty cool. That's about it.
The weather, awesome. I was gonna say, that sounds really bad, but I hope the weather's okay.
Weather Simulator 2019.
Because that makes the game for me. Do you think they spend too much time obsessing over the weather? They're like, oh, we've got to make the rain look cool. The rain has to look, guys. Lightning.
I honestly think because Avalanche is working on Rage 2 as well with ID Interactive, I think they've been distracted with that. Because the main guy who used to work on Just Cause has transferred over to, well, not transferred, but he's co-developing Rage 2. So I think Just Cause 4 has kind of been contracted out, if you will, and kind of been palmed off to smaller divisions of Avalanche, who have then botched it. Which is sad to see. Like, I love Just Cause games.
I think it's the last
They
one.
look fun.
Yeah, they do, definitely. What did you say, Andrew?
Is this the last one? The last Just Cause, you think, for a bit?
For at least another 2 years, yeah. They're gonna have to redo, the whole thing, I reckon, after this.
There'll be about 5 or 6 patches, and there'll be all sorts of garbage going on as they try to rectify it and make it a working, fixed, and probably complete game. Because I imagine it's not complete. Well, you already said that, really, haven't you? It's basically not complete, yeah.
One of our writers actually made a good statement. He was like, they release the game, the initial audience is the beta testers, they get all the feedback from them, and then they patch it after like 2 months. And then it's a full game, and it's just, it's so bad that companies are doing that now.
I was going to say, yeah, isn't that kind of how things are these days? Really?
Yeah, it is on a lot of games.
Like where even the betas aren't really the betas. When it's released, it's always a patch. It's always a day 1 patch, isn't it, of some sort?
Most times, like Red Dead had that.
This could be me being out of touch here, but a day 1 patch just sounds like a repair of some kind. That's or something else that I'm just not familiar with. But to me, it just sounds like a fix that should have really been done.
You gotta print the disc at some. You gotta print the disc at some point, right? And then still work.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's print the disc when. I mean, I suppose there are issues that you can spot later on as the production, as the physical production is underway. That's understandable, but like game-breaking stuff, like the lines of Just Cause 4 that Anthony mentioned. Well, it's not really game-breaking, but it's certainly horrible and jarring to look at, probably.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I've played it for around 10 hours now, and it's crashed 4 times, I think.
And you're on PC or?
Yeah, PC.
So could it? I mean,
might
it be just your computer?
No, it's not my computer. It's
No, it's not your computer.
I think it's just. The thing is, it's happening to so many other people. You go onto Steam and you look at the reviews on Steam, and it's happening more so to them than me. So yeah, it's a common thing that's happening, unfortunately.
You know, that is the primary reason why I don't really PC game too much. Is all the bug and troubleshooting issues that you would, that I would likely encounter.
Yeah.
And I'm not very technical when it comes to computers. I'm very, very basic. So if I come across an error, I just think I'm going to have to do possibly a day's worth of researching on the internet. I may have to spend some money to get this working properly, and I just don't want that hassle. And I just feel like you don't really get that with many console games, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you do obviously with the now current day's availability for consoles to download gigabytes, like it's virtually nothing. Developers are happy to throw out games knowing they're about 95% complete. And then a day one patch, and then a couple of fixes down the line, some sorry about that DLC, and all this stuff. I just avoid it altogether, really, obviously. Anything in the news at all? Anything? Some interesting. I mean, we seem to be in a wave of horrible third-party knockoff retro consoles, and some celebrities are getting in on the game as well, it seems. So what about that?
Andrew, you had something about that, didn't
Yeah, I
you?
don't know if you could call him a celebrity still, but if you're familiar with the man who brought us Crank That, Soldier Boy.
No idea.
I don't know how long ago it was.
I'm actually familiar with that. I think I can hear it in my head, actually.
Yes, that song, that I'm sure you have heard. Crank That, Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy has come out with some new consoles, or apparently new consoles. They seem to be, I think for 150 and like $200, he's selling these like Chinese branded Soldier box and Soldier. What's the other one? It's like the Soldier handheld console.
Yeah.
Hold on. I had this up for a second. And from what it seems like, they're just they're like Chinese emulators, but they come like built in with like 800 games, or like let's see, the Soldier game console. Legality. Yes, is running PS, so PlayStation, Neo Geo, PC, Sega, Game Boy Advance, and NES video game. 800 pre-installed.
Whoa.
And the handheld apparently supports Switch, 3DS, Vita, Neo Geo, Game Boy Color, Game Boy,
Switch.
And yes, it's quote unquote Switch.
It sounds like a product you would get from Wish.
Yes, you're probably not wrong. It's apparently there's this Chinese company. I don't know how to say this, but it's like Anbernic. But you can actually buy these consoles on Amazon or Alibaba for like, I don't know, $60.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Dear me.
And he actually tweeted out, oh, this is fantastic. He said, Soldier Boy tweets out, wow, made $250,000 from my game console. It's been less than 24 hours since release. WTF, thank you guys so much. Face, praying hand. So apparently these things sold a decent amount of, which is pretty wild.
Guys, do you think that we're going to end up, this is going to start something, and we're going to end up with loads of celebrity-endorsed consoles? Like, Kim Kardashian's going to come out with her own, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger jumps on with the Anitron or something like that,
I just think this guy is bonkers, and he does not because he also has knockoff. Oh god, this is weird. He has knockoff Apple Watches on here.
Ooh, he's expanding, huh?
And idea. What do you say?
Although I would want an Arnie console. That would be pretty cool. I joke about it, but I would like to see Arnie. Like all these celebrities have a go, and then Arnie steps up. He'd have to call it the Terminator. And you'd have to do the adverts, and also I want voice menus where Arnie reads out everything I select. So literally, I just selecting this going start options, or something like that. You have decided to play Ghost. I can't really say Ghosts and Goblins in his voice, really.
I will say though, this I think Waypoint, the guys over at Waypoint, like Patrick Buckman and Alston Walker, I think they bought some Soldier Boy console stuff for research purposes.
Yeah? What is that? Yeah.
They haven't got it yet.
Something.
Oh no.
Apparently, it's supposed to arrive before Christmas, according to them.
Cool.
So we'll find out. So keep an eye over there and see what their reports are.
Yeah, wow.
It'll be like a slew of celebrity-endorsed third-party knockoff horrible consoles as well. That's what we'll probably get.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
I love it.
I've been on a bit of a crusade on Facebook as well, kind of obnoxiously, I'm not gonna lie. When I see these horrible third-party consoles, I just jump in and I'm just like, and I'm a bit of a troll. I'm like, real gamers don't buy these. And I'm just hoping someone would jump in and have a go at me because they're horrible little consoles and they always look these junky little things. And don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. Some of them are probably quite well made. I feel like they're wrong. I just don't like them.
PC Mini.
Like, yeah, I feel like people are missing out on part of what makes games great in a way, and to have everything all on one machine like that, it just feels. That's just me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also because I feel like most of the time they're complete garbage consoles, really cheaply put together, basically a Raspberry Pi. In a rather, most of the time, a decent looking case, and there's better options out there. You might as well just make it yourself, you know.
Yeah, or you may as well just get like a SNES Mini or something like that.
Yeah, I guess something legit at least.
Yeah, exactly. Funnily enough, talking about, I don't really know if it's not really a rip-off console, but talking about another kind of remake console. Analog has announced a new limited edition Super NT, and you can order one right now. Now they're calling it the Super NT Ghostly. Great name.
Ghostly?
Yeah.
As in somewhat spooky.
I presume so. It does look a little bit spooky, I must say.
It's white, isn't it? You showed me.
Yeah.
You showed a picture earlier. Yeah. I thought that looks like what you would get if you took a Super NES and dunked it in some really strong bleach. That's what I thought. But it looks like a washed out Super NES.
Does a bit. It comes with by the looks of it, an adapter for a AUX cord. Also, like a charging thing for the controller as well. This, I presume, plugs into the controller, which allows you to charge your controller and plug in a headset. If you're a fan of your fancy tech and intriguing video game consoles, you may already be aware of the Analog Super NT, inspired by the design of the Japanese and European Super Famicom or SNES systems. This machine can play your original games on your modern 1080p setups with beautiful ease, and a new limited edition variant has just been announced, which might make the deal even sweeter.
Wait, did it say beautiful ease?
Yeah.
Okay.
This new design is thanks to partnership between its creator Analog and record label Ghostly. There you go, that's where they got the Ghostly NT from.
A record label?
Yeah. You can probably tell how the name Ghostly X Analog Edition came about, expanding upon the standard bundle, which we've already described as the ultimate way to play SNES games in 2018. This release not only features a beautiful pure white finish, but also includes a limited edition 8-bit do SN30 controller to match, and you can see some images below. Blah blah blah. It does look kind of decent, I must say. The controller,
Yes.
the controller kind of
things
looks
are,
like a Wii Pro controller a bit.
Are you guys on the market for this sort of stuff?
It's just too expensive for what. It's really cool. Like, I would love to have one. It's not that bad, I guess.
Whoa.
What it is it's basically like the easiest way to play like your Super Nintendo carts. Like, it plugs in HDMI. It's like zero lag. The people behind it are super into like, hey, this is like very like, this is the real way to play it. Like, there's no way to put in like a.
It's kind of like Steam Link, I suppose, but for SNES a bit.
Well, you have to actually plug your cart into there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. From what I've heard, these things work really well. There's like no lag, which is like a problem when you're actually playing on like current day TVs and such.
Do they have built-in upscalers? I feel that would be required.
Includes. No, it doesn't actually say.
They're quite expensive as well. So
They're like $189, which is a lot. But if you're a collector and you want to play these games in like probably a really easy fashion, I assume this is like the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
No, if it was on the market for something like that, I would always go down the road of something that's not well respected, but well received and is already established, like a Retron.
These are actually better than I have a Retron and it's not good. These are way better than Retron. These ones are like solid. Like from what I've heard, the Super NT and the NT Classic are fantastic little piece of hardware.
Well, as you might guess, I'm not on the market for these sorts of things.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like a snob, but I can only really go for the McCoy. I probably do come across as a bit of a video game snob sometimes. I know I do. I feel like the console is part of the experience. So can't play it on a third-party machine. It just doesn't feel right.
Fair enough.
So, in this limited edition package, it comes with an analog Super NT Ghostly LE, whatever the heck that is. 8-bit Do SN30 Ghostly LE again. No idea what that is either. 8-bit Do Retro Receiver. Super Turrican...
LE is limited edition, I'm guessing.
Yeah, LE, yeah. Super Turrican Director's Cut. Super Turrican 2, STDC original SNES style box art, HDMI cable, USB cable, worldwide USB power supply. For the limited edition one, it's going to cost, if you want to order one right now, $249.99 USD. There's going to only be 1,000 units made as well.
Wow.
And also it comes with on top of the Ghostly X Analog Edition features 7 exclusive boot startup Sonics composed by renowned Ghostly international artists.
That's really random.
What are Sonics?
No idea. Probably some sort of
sound, I'm guessing, or something.
I have no idea.
But yeah, like if you're looking to upscale from your current, or play your current SNES games on a bit of an upscale version on a modern TV, this might be the way for you, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, have I lost you guys again?
No, you're good.
No.
Oh no, you just went quite quiet then. Yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't matter how cheap they become or even how good looking. Or even how functional they are. Not for me.
Fair enough.
What would have to happen is all of the classic consoles in the world would die of old age. No such thing as a working NES exists anymore, or anything like that. For me to want to buy something like that, which obviously isn't going to happen. Everyone else can obviously have at it. I mean, and again, I'm trying my best not to sound like a snob or an elitist here, but if people want to buy that sort of thing, go for it. But I just feel like there's going to be now a massive wave of dodgy, horrible consoles that are totally misadvertised and horribly endorsed ones. Like that Soldier Boy console is just I thought that was a joke. I thought it was a joke I just didn't get. I saw it on some Facebook group, and I thought, like, that name rings a bell. I think that's some sort of hip hop artist, I believe. And I wasn't very familiar. I just recognized the name a little bit, and I just thought it was some sort of joke about the artist. Maybe he said or did something, I don't know, but I didn't look into it. But lo and behold, that was actually happening, and he's made a lot of money from it, and I think that's going to open the floodgates for all sorts of other Z-listers and B-listers and maybe even A-listers jumping on board and and endorsing these weird emulation consoles and whatnot. So
yeah, maybe.
Anything else in the news?
No, that's gonna do it for this week. I reckon we could probably jump into the list now. I reckon might be an idea.
Yeah. Let's do that. So guys, you have all your top. So listeners, just a reminder, we are going to go through our top 5 favorite. Well, not necessarily favorite. Whether we feel it's iconic, we're just going to go about it in our individual ways. Just generally our top 5 favorite video game weapons from any genre, from any game. But obviously, when selecting these consoles, these weapons rather, there are going to be some honourable mentions, or ones that don't really quite make the cut. So it'd be a shame to overlook those. So I'm going to go through mine because I get the feeling first, because I get the feeling that I got the most. Because I kind of went a bit crazy with my honourable mentions. I had to cut it down.
Fair enough.
I got about 8.
Okay.
I think. So I'll just plow through them. So the ones that didn't quite make the cut for my top 5 then, and one that I've been banging on about for quite a bit in regards to our top 50s weapons list, is the taser from Siphon Filter.
I love that.
Oh dear.
For the absolute sadist in us all, except no substitute, the taser is a horrible. It's beyond any taser that exists in the real world. You know, a taser is really designed to not disable you, immobilize you, and so you can be apprehended most of the time, right? Or if you happen to be a bad person, to stop you from attacking someone or something like that. It's meant for defense and taking down assailants and stuff. However, in Filter, it has same function, a more offensive approach. It's a default weapon, like many games would have, and it's crazy overpowered. So what it simply does is it fires a very unrealistic looking arc of. It looks like liquid, like if someone squeezed like a shampoo bottle, and it just shoots this white stream across the. A ridiculous distance. It's got an incredible range for, and this is why it's so overpowered as well, because you only need to catch sight of an enemy and boom, you got him. And it shoots this, what is obviously meant to be a cable, and it attaches to an enemy, and then you can electrocute them and they fall down, right? However, what they do in Siphon Filter is they don't really give you a reason to stop electrocuting your enemy, because although they're very clearly dead, you got them because it's not taking people down. It's actually a deadly weapon. You're not making them unconscious. You're killing them with this thing because you electrocute them, and you can electrocute them, and you can electrocute them, and even if their horrible screams don't make you stop, they then burst into flames. Yeah. So. It is a horrible torture device, but it's somehow hilarious. So that was originally my number 5 actually, but I just recently changed it. My other honorable mention would be Dig Dug's pump. I forgot that the name of the character is Tyro. I can't remember his name, but the famous pump from the Dig Dug arcade series. Is another honorable mention, and that's another torture device. There's no theme here on my list, okay? I'm not sadist or anything like that. The Dig Dug pump is horrible because you are when you play Taizo Hori, that's the guy. When you play Dig Dug, you're essentially a horrible person. when you play Dig Dug is a horrible person. Taizo Hori, he basically goes down into the earth, invades the inhabitants, invades the world of these innocent, really, creatures who are doing nothing more than defending themselves and their home. The Figer and the Pokars are the only 2 enemies that appear in Dig Dug. One's a happy-looking, bespectacled, goggle-wearing tomato, essentially, and one's a cuddly little crocodile dragon thing, but he can breathe fire. But they're just going about their day, and all of a sudden Taizo Hori comes along, starts, digging straight the way down, and massacres the lot, and then leaves to go on to the next patch of Earth to massacre some other creatures. And he doesn't want to take people down by knocking them out or just, trapping them. No. Taizo Hori has an air pump, which he shoots into the body of a creature. Let me think about this. Shoots the hose into the body of the creature, fills that creature full of air until they explode. Which is obviously an incredibly horrible way to die. So when you think about it, Dig Dug is a really horrible game. But it's also a brilliant game. It's one of my favorite arcade games of all time. And before I go on from that, my other honorable mention is Vampire Killer from the Castlevania series. I think that's plenty has been said about that already. Very iconic weapon. Yeah. The Cerebral Boar from the Turok series. Another I'm starting to realize there's a bit of a theme going on here. That is another torture device. Because the cerebral bore has a homing projectile that, when latched onto the head of the enemy, burrows down deep into their skull and explodes.
Hooray!
Yeah, and then of course you got the sheep and banana bombs from the Worm series, which are just fun, really stupid weapons. One's a cluster bomb that explodes with a series of giant bananas that also explode, and then the sheep is also really horrible because all you are is sending out a sheep into the wild, and the sheep's bipping and jumping around and seems very, very happy, but the sheep has no idea that a bomb is attached to his back, and you are in control of that bomb and you can explode it at any time. So you're basically sitting there going like, this sheep is in life right now. There's no idea that I'm just about to blow it up. It's actually a fairly ineffectual weaponry because it doesn't really jump over gaps or anything like that. So it's not much better than a homing missile really. And another one of my honorable mentions would be. Do you know what, guys? I'm starting to realize my honorable mentions really do have a theme. The hatchet and plastic bag, or pretty much any weapon from the Manhunt series. Yeah. Because they're all horrific. But the two I wanted to mention was the hatchet, and I feel like I can't go into detail of why the hatchet is so unique, because it's the one that, in Manhunt, the kills that you do aren't referred to as kills; they're referred to as executions, because you are unwillingly forced into a series of real-time kind of almost what's the word? Reality TV kind of snuff films, really. And you have to use the weapons of your environment, and these are things like hammers and plastic bags. And the plastic bags are unique because they're just an innocuous plastic bag, but they also allow you to commit some horrible murder. The hatchet is absolutely horrible, but I feel like it's not PG enough for me to go into why the hatchet is so horrible. Because this is a PG podcast. And just two more. I also have the Excalibur. Have you ever heard of this, guys?
What's it off?
It's Final Fantasy.
No, I have not.
Are you familiar with the enemy recurring character in the Final Fantasy series called Gilgamesh?
Yep.
Sometimes is a summon. Most of the time he's an enemy, and in some cases I think he's a temporary party member, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
But in Final Fantasy IV, he is kind of like this obnoxious wannabe bad guy. He's more of a henchman, but he's got this this inflated ego and sense of self-importance, and he just kind of appears every now and then just to challenge you, because you beat him down like 2 or 3 times, and he comes back and says, "I have you this time because I have this amazing sword." And then it becomes very clear that he's actually been duped, because he thinks he has this amazing sword, and he thinks it's the legendary sword Excalibur.
Yeah.
But the actual person who sold him the sword duped him by selling him a sword that they called the Excalibur. And it's a really weak, basic silver sword. Yeah. And it's just a very funny comedy moment in Final Fantasy, because he thinks he's going to take you down, and he's been... And in his haste to get a superpowered weapon, because that's what Final Fantasy is about, guys. It's not about the weapons; it's about the heart and friendship and all that stuff. And that's what Gilgamesh doesn't get, you guys. And he goes and buys this horrible weapon. He gets totally conned, and then it suddenly becomes clear when you beat him again that the sword he has is the Excalibur, and you can obtain it as well. It's just a joke weapon. And very lastly, Utah's arm cannon, and this is another obscure game as well. Not obscure game. This is another obscure weapon. I wrote about it a little while ago. It's from a game called Silent Bomber for the PS1, and it's one of my hidden gems that I wrote about. I don't know if my old articles are still on the site. I imagine they've.
Yeah, they're there somewhere, I believe.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you jump onto cultureofgaming.com and search for Silent Bomber or Hidden Gem Reviews or something along those lines, or just my name, David White, you will find the article I wrote about this game series, and you will be able to see some pictures of the weapon in action. And the Utah is the protagonist of the series. He has on his arm an arm cannon. I feel like it might have a different name, but I don't think so. And it fires nothing more than sticky bombs. There's no actual direct projectile projectiles in this game. It's just bombs, and I found that quite unique. But there's different types of bombs, and the exploding sequence, you can choose to fire once, or you can fire 5 in a row in the exploding sequence. Quite a tactical third-person action game. Really fun. And holds up as well, despite most PS1 games not holding up visually. This game doesn't hold up visually a lot, but it's such a fun game to play. It's total carnage on the screen. I absolutely love it. The weapon is wicked fun to play with because you have this conical aiming reticle sort of thing that appears in front of Utah, and you can choose to extend that if you like, and fire these different types of bombs that stick to the walls or the surfaces or the floors or the enemies, and the exploding sequence, and they can be like thermite or thermal. Not thermal. What's the word? What's that sticky kind of explosive called?
Yeah, I think it's thermite, isn't it?
The thermite, I think
It
napalm.
is. Oh, yeah, okay.
Napalm, yeah, it's kind of like napalm, and then you got like a one that's more of an electrical bomb, which disables more robotic enemies, of course. So yeah, that's a really, really cool weapon, just for its versatility. And yeah, there we go, guys. That's my honorable mentions.
Cool.
Hopefully I didn't waffle too much on that. But what about you guys? You got any honorable mentions you wanted to bring up? Just ones that didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, I got a couple quick ones. So first off, I gotta do the Doom chainsaw. In all its iterations, I love the old one where it's just kind of like just cutting people up. But the new one in 2016 was so great because it actually had like a function. You're getting, not only was it like really cool to use and like cool animations, but like it was a functional thing where you're getting ammo. So I really like the Doom chainsaw a lot.
Gave you a reason to use it.
Yeah, like normally you're gonna play the original game, and it was really good because it was like super powerful.
Yeah.
But like you had to be right next to your guys, your enemies. So it was,
yeah.
not the best.
Yeah.
But the new one was fantastic, so I really like the Doom chainsaw. Second one I'll give a shout out to is the experimental Merv. If you're not familiar with it, it's from Fallout. It's like a Fat Man, which is like it shoots a little mini nuke.
Yeah.
This one's super overkill. Shoots like it shoots like 5 at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're just blasting people away. I'm pretty sure I crashed my game multiple times shooting that thing with all those little mini explosions. So that one's really fun to use. Pretty silly. This one's a little bit of a weird one, but Leroy Jenkins from Hearthstone. He's a card like any other card, but he's like you put him down there and he goes straight to face. That's like his job. Like he always attacks. Like that's what that's what you use him for. He's got like a 6'2" body, and like he summons like dragons for your opponent. So basically, he's killing himself when you put him on the board.
Just like the video.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So like he's really funny because he yells, Leroy Jenkins, and like all that good stuff, and then he attack with him. He's a really fun one that it's one of the first legendaries I crafted in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Really fun to use. And then my last one is the Needler from Halo 3.
Yeah.
That one is just great. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Filling your opponent up with needles and then they explode.
Yeah.
It really is.
Humane.
It's not even a good gun. I don't think.
That's not really.
No, it's at least when I played it, I never did.
I mean, I feel like it's more effective in close proximity, despite its homing ability. I feel like it's better it's better when you like come up close to an enemy and you pump them full of needles, and then you just sort of step back and watch them get destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's a fun weapon, and it's a cool looking weapon as well. And it's a fun weapon. Yeah, it's not super effective, but it is a cool weapon. Yeah.
I guess it may be okay if you're dual wielding, but that's about it. But those are my
decent dual wield weapon.
Those are my honorables.
Yeah. Cool. Well, mine I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 actually. I've actually got 2 Halo weapons in this one. I've got the first honorable that I have is the assault rifle from the Halo series. Obviously, it is one of the first one of the first guns that you pick up. Oh, come on. That you pick up. It is the most used weapon in the Halo series. It is part of the standard Spartan / Marine loadouts, including pistol, of course. It's powerful. In the newer games, I love how they kind of revamped the sound of it, made it sound a lot more kind of powerful, I suppose. And it did a bit more damage as well in Halo 4. The second one that I have is the Titans from Titanfall. Not that these are weapons, these are more mechs, but they come with pretty decent
Still
weapon
weapons.
kits.
No, they're still weapons. I totally accept that.
Th-
Weapons.
Yeah, these are, like, I've played a bit of multiplayer in Titanfall. It is very addictive when you get a Titan and then you can just run around and just slaughter everybody. They're obviously very powerful. I played Titanfall 2, not Titanfall 1, and as my username on Discord suggests, BT7274 is the main Titan that you get in Titanfall 2 that you use in the whole campaign. And he's awesome. Like, I love his voice and the way he talks and all that. And the Titans,
I didn't
you
know
can't
that was a
beat.
reference to anything. I thought that was some random generated thing.
Oh dear.
I always kind of wondered that, but I never really got around to asking
Yeah,
what
okay.
actually 7274 was. But there we go. Some cog trivia for you guys.
Yeah, there you go. Also, this is not a weapon, but it is in a courtroom. Phoenix Wright's mind, of course, that's classed as a weapon. Just the whole like objection and all that, it's addictive. I absolutely love those games. The whole Phoenix Wright versus Ace Attorney as well. No, sorry,
I
Phoenix
suppose from a
Wright
gameplay
versus...
point of view, it is a weapon. I guess that's an interesting way to put it.
It is kind of. It is like the only weapon in the game. Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, that's what I'm trying to think of. That was a pretty awesome game as well, where you used more so the whole detective skills and like the courtroom skills of Phoenix Wright as well. You can't beat a Phoenix Wright game, and they're kind of PC, so yay. Gravity Hammer from Halo, of course, you can't beat that, apart from the energy sword, but anyway. The Gravity Hammer, most of the brutes, which is one of the alien species, I suppose, that you go up against in Halo, use them predominantly. The brute generals, and they are super overpowered. If you're dying, you just pull that out and run up to a group of people, and they're all dead straight away. Oh dear. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I'm here now. It kicked me out and now I've rejoined. Where did I lose from?
You were talking about Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, more or less at that point, or just after that.
Don't know what
Are we
happened.
still streaming?
Yeah, we're
good.
Should still be going. I might have cut out audio a bit, but it's all good. So the next one on my list, of course, is another Halo weapon, the Gravity Hammer. You can't beat that as a
Is
weapon.
that Tartarus's weapon?
Is he the brute general?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his weapon.
That is pretty cool.
predominantly.
Generally, like melee weapons that have like a physical or like a kind of well, I don't want to say I want to say something better, but kind of a magical effect, or an elemental attack of some sort. Things like that. I don't appear in first-person shooters enough, in my opinion.
Well, this is more so. It's got a gravity element to it, but it's mainly powered by rockets on the back of it. So when you swing it, the rockets start, and then it slams the ground hard enough to kill people.
Kind of brilliant if you can wield it. Yeah,
exactly.
That's really cool.
Well, if you're a Spartan, you're set. Obviously, the brutes use that predominantly, and if you're dying or whatever, you just run up to a group of people and they're all dead straight away. And the last one is, of course, the dart gun from Mission Impossible. Not many people play Mission Impossible.
It's a bad game.
It's a great game. Come on. I reckon it's better than
Operation
GoldenEye,
Sinnoh
but anyway.
I think I found the first game we need to play on our new retro respect.
Play Operation Sinnoh. That was actually a surprisingly good game.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the one off Nintendo 64.
64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dart gun, of course, is the main stealth weapon that you use, creeping through the embassy, or not the embassy, the IMF, whatever it is, when you've been classed as a traitor or whatever. Just dart gunning everybody, and then they just all fall asleep. It's perfect. It's a great weapon. And that is it from my honourable mentions.
I did think of one other weapon earlier that's worth noting, and it is an honourable mention because of how all other weapons feel up until this point until this weapon becomes available. It's the anti-tank rifle from Dino Crisis.
Yeah.
And because up until that point, the weapons are powerful, but you still have to avoid the enemy. But when you finally can get your hands on the anti-tank rifle, you can buy it. You have enough credits or whatever, if I recall. When you finally have that, it has an awesome knockback effect.
Ah, yeah.
So you genuinely feel powerful when you act. 'Cause up until this point, you can upgrade your weapons, you can do all sorts, and you just gotta hope that the enemies fall before they get to you. But when you finally get the anti-tank rifle, it has like that wonderful sort of like boom kind of effect where like it's slow because it's so powerful. It's just really slow. When you got all these raptors, which are quite annoying in the game, coming at you, and you're just like you're basically just kind of bitch slapping them back because you're just like knocking them out of the way. You feel kind of like really powerful, and you can't shoot them when they're down. So when you shoot them, they fall, and then they get up and you shoot them again. You really feel like super powered. It's great. So guys, let's get into our number 5s before we overrun too much here. So I'll go first. So my number 5 is the Silver Ballers from the Hitman series. The most, in my opinion, the most iconic dual-wielded pistols in all the video games. I don't care what anyone says about Lara Croft. These are different because they are. Well, they're beautiful guns. They are iconic of the series. They just look badass. He looks badass when he has them. They are a little bit overpowered. I love how they part of what makes Hitman 2 particularly fun. The ragdoll effects that you can create, especially if you're crouched on the floor. Crouched on the floor and you shoot upwards and you hit them right in the face. They do like about 17 backflips before they hit a wall. It's the most ridiculously overpowered weapon, but it's so much fun. And then of course you get the silenced versions if you're cool enough, which makes you practically immortal. There we go. That's my number 5. And I would love to get like replicas of those because they're so cool looking.
Cool. Yeah, those are definitely awesome. I totally forgot about those.
Andrew, what about your number 5?
All right, so my number 5, I feel like it goes underrated. It's the green shell. Like green shell. Forget the red shell.
You traitor!
We're doing the green shell because why, you ask? Green shell takes precision. It takes a skill
true.
You know,
it's not a cheap weapon, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the blue shell's garbage. No one likes that thing. But green shell. Fantastic weapon. And it's going all over the place, bouncing low. It can create chaos at the same time, or it can be very skillful. So
fair enough.
I think the green shell is a little underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. So my number 5, it is, I would say, overrated a bit. It's the Lancer Assault Rifle from Gears of War series.
Oh, that's not overrated. That's awesome.
It's a great go.
It has a chainsaw on the end of it. Come on. It's supremely powerful. It is the most used gun in the series, of course, out of all the games. It is the... What are they called? What are the... Oh, yeah, obviously they're called Gears, but... No. What are the soldiers called? They're not called Marines. They're called something else.
Guys? And they call it COG or something like that?
The Gears, aren't they?
But I think they're called something else apart from Gears as well. Anyway, doesn't matter. So that's part of their main loadout. The assault rifle, you can run up to anybody and just cut them in half. There is no glory kill system where you get ammo out of it like Doom, but it is a very cool weapon and one that it's going to keep on going and going and going, and you can't stop it. So.
It is a game that it is a gun that appeals is designed around appealing to first-person shooter players.
Yes,
because it combines both firepower and melee, and of course, when you do get those close quarter kills, they don't cut back. They don't hide the fact that it's a gory, ridiculous weapon as well. Because you're basically sawing these locusts in half. They basically get away with it by giving the locust green blood, really, don't they? Pretty much. If I recall. No, they don't, do they? No, they have red blood.
Yeah.
Well, you can in multiplayer, you can just chainsaw other humans in half, I think, too. So
I'm just thinking. I feel like the locusts have green blood, but I'm thinking. I think I'm just thinking of the emulsion is kind of green, isn't it?
Nah, they got red blood.
Yeah, they're red, aren't they? Yeah. So they don't hold back on the gore. So it appeals in the same way that something like Mortal Kombat does, where it's just like over the top, ridiculous. Yeah. But it's also from a design point of view for like combat, it's actually a kind of smart design as well.
Yes.
It's just all about carnage, and I I totally would expect that to be in like some top 10 or top 20 at least. Certainly in our top 25. Was it 50? No, it's 50, isn't it?
50
it's
now.
We're doing a list of 50. So it's definitely going to be in there.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah, it is already in there.
I hope
somewhere.
it is.
It is, yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Right. So my number 4. This weapon is cool in my opinion. It's pretty standard. It doesn't stand out visually. It's just functionally brilliant, and it's probably one of my most used weapons because it comes from one of my most played games, and it is Sam Fisher's SC20K.
Okay.
Which is a multifunctional weapon. It not only does it fire standard assault rounds, it fires all of Sam's alternative
Shoes, huh?
alternative
Ammo.
what's the word? I guess such as his kind of ridiculous but very, very useful and very, very cool element of Splinter Cell, the sticky cameras, the ring foil, and the gas, the electrical, what do they call them in the game? God damn it. The shock rounds, let's just call them that. There's a name for them, but I've completely forgotten it. So basically rounds that electrify your enemies and take them down in a less grotesque way than the taser from Cyberpunk 3, which I wonder if was a kind of inspiration. I don't know. I would like to think so. I like to think Siphon Filter was a bit of an overlooked inspirational stealth game. I feel like it's unsung a little bit. Anyway, and Mission Impossible as well. And Operation Winback with the N64 is another one, I think. Anyway, so yeah, so really, really cool weapon just because it's so much fun to use. And basically, without that gun, the way that game is designed, Splinter Cell would still be fun, but not nearly as fun to be in my favorite games of all time list. That say Splinter Cell Chaos Theory particularly would be. So yeah, SC20K, really cool weapon. That's my number 4.
Cool.
All right, so my number 4 is similar to David, but going with a different franchise. I'm going with the Trank gun from Metal Gear Solid.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Just the like the putting everyone to sleep, headshot, boom, immediately sleep. Feels so satisfying. And like, I don't know, it feels like the right way to play those games is like not killing people. So I kind of.
That's how I play Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
I never tried. The ultimate goal for me is to never be seen, and at the very least, only make people unconscious, never kill. Not because I'm like being so moral or anything like that. It's just like that is more skillful in my opinion to do it that way.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I love the Trank gun, and it's always funny too when you miss a few times and the guy's just got like 5 Trank darts in the chest. Just go to sleep already.
Am I the only one who thinks? Maybe I'm just being a bit weird here, but did you ever in Metal Gear Solid think it was really funny that when people were unconscious on the floor, you just shot them like in the face like 10 times with the Trank gun until they're just like covered in them, and then you realize, oh my god, what's wrong with me? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Because
I've definitely probably done that before. Yeah.
You're like, choop, 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 choop. It's overkill on the Trank guns to the point where they actually become that many Trank rifles would be fatal. Yeah.
Take down an elephant. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your number 4?
So my number 4, which I've funnily just added right now. I completely forgot about it, and then I've just added it. The Rhino 5 from Ratchet and Clank. That is the most.
Okay.
It's the most powerful gun in the game, or in the series, I should say. You can fire a bunch of ammunition with it. It's basically, with Ratchet and Clank, with it being a 3D platformer, you can get overrun pretty easily with enemies. And this gun, you just basically let one loose, and everybody's dead. Just within this one compact area. I think it was introduced in Ratchet Gladiator, I believe. Or I think it's called something else over in America. And it is... I don't really have that much to say about it, but it's extremely powerful and a gun that you always want when you're playing Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah.
Or any 3D platformer. In fact, I was gonna say when you mentioned that it has like a close proximity effect.
Yeah.
Because being overrun with enemies is what makes platformers kind of annoying sometimes. So having a weapon that allows you to, at the very least, have a close quarter knockback effect.
Yeah, it gives you a way out kind of thing.
is satisfying to play with as well.
Yeah.
Like some, I think of like attacks in video games where you hit the ground or something like that, and enemies go flying back. For me, things like that are necessary in third-person shooters because they get really annoying otherwise. So a weapon like that is not only really cool, but I think as far as game design goes, it's quite a smart weapon to have.
Yeah.
So the game doesn't get too frustrating, and also, of course, when you do get the weapon, you get that sense of power as well. Because up until that point, I imagine you can get overrun with no weapon to assist you in, or no weapon that would be useful in the same way. But when you finally get that weapon and you're knocking enemies back, you get that satisfaction. So
yeah. I mean, you've always got the wrench, but it's always good to have a gun that's supremely overpowered.
Or some sort of spin attack as well, like state of emergency is a good one. Because that was an okay game, but sometimes you were spamming the 360 attacks because some missions required you to stop bad guys from going in a doorway, for example. So having an attack like that, or even a weapon that does that, is again, to slightly repeat myself, is really cool. So yeah, cool weapon.
Yeah, cool. Number 3, cracky.
Yeah, we're kind of plowing through this, aren't we?
Yeah, doing well.
Are we going too quick, perhaps?
No, not really.
All right. Well, my number 3, guys, is probably the one I suspect the one of you guys have. I don't know. Probably would end up on anyone's top 10, I wager. And that is the legendary BFG 9000. Because going back to the Lancer that I mentioned that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It is a weapon that just appeals to the first-person shooter fan, and not only that, the BFG 9000 is not too overpowered as well. I feel like it's just right, because some enemies don't just drop. It has like a spread effect. So the closer an enemy is, the more damage you can put on them. The further away the enemy is, the less damage. But it's still powerful enough to drop a room full of enemies most of the time.
Yeah.
But it's not overpowered to the point where you're just basically sweeping rooms left, right, and center. It also takes a good few rounds to take down a cyber demon with the BFG 9000 as well. But anyway. So not only is it a really cool weapon and a really cool looking weapon and has amazing effect, but it's also notable because it had a kind of holy grail effect when it first appeared. Because most people, when they played Doom, knew of the weapon. Like their first time playthrough, they knew of the weapon, so they were kind of looking forward to the moment when they got it. And of course, then there was that wonderful moment where you'd be wandering through a level, and I think the first time you encounter it, you're in a kind of donut-shaped room, and in the center of the room is just 2 windows on either side of a column, and in the center of that column is the PFG literally put on a pedestal. You want that kind of like angelic cherub music to come in and be like, oh, because there it is. You found the BFG 9000, and of course you got to try and figure out how to get it. And that's kind of a little bit of a douche move in my opinion, because you see it and you're like, I don't know how to get it. How do I get it? Because it's not really obvious if I recall. It's actually a bit of a thing you might have to Google. So it must have been quite horrible for those who didn't figure it out. Probably spent like literally hours wandering around the room, going, "I must get this BF," And of course, when you get it, it doesn't let you down. It genuinely is a cool weapon and super powered as well. They try to replicate it in later games. I think they tried to make it look really cool, and they do look really cool. The Doom 3 version is one that comes to mind, and that's all right. But somehow, the BFG 9000 in the original Doom still is way cooler. So yeah, that's my number 3, the BFG 9000, and I would expect it to be on a lot of people's number 5s just because it's a literal legendary video game weapon.
Yeah, and in the newer Doom, it's really cool. It's kind of like this weird, like, it kills pretty much everything on screen, and you get like 3 shots for like, you have to find. It's hard to find like ammo for it, so it's a really cool like resource that you have. I keep going back to the new Doom, but that game is very good. Yeah,
it is very good.
I saw images of the BFG 9000. It looks awesome. I can say that.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool version.
Like it looks like a railgun, if I recall, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been a few years. I haven't played it in a while, but it's definitely interesting looking. All right, so kicking off my number 3. It's not as big or as gigantic as the BFG, but it does, accomplish the same goal: 1 hit, 1 kill, and that's the throwing knife or the hatchet in the Call of Duty series.
Yeah.
I love. It's like also the ultimate disrespect, like just holding it out, going around a corner, bam, just throwing a knife in the dude's face. It's like, oh, you just feel so dejected.
Skill weapon.
Or throwing it over like a 3-story building and then it hitting someone on the other side.
Exactly, I love it. Like, I always try to get those random kills at the last game. Like, I'm toss this thing up, see if I can hit somebody. I don't think I've ever actually got it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those it's just still so super fun to use, and like I said, just I love being competitive. So just in that little extra flair against your opponents is always cool.
Cool. Nice.
That's awesome. I just want to say as well, I love how to slightly go back to my number 3. I love how they try to get around the acronym of BFG in the later games, where they call it the Bioforce gun.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't stand for that at all. It stands for something that I can't say on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I remember correctly in the original booklet for I think the PS1 version. I'm pretty sure that somewhere in the book it actually literally says something along the lines of, "This is the BFG 9000, awesome weapon, yada yada yada," and it says, "We can't tell you what BFG 9000 stands for or what the F stands for, but let's just say it rhymes with clucking."
Nice. Perfect.
I thought that was really, really cool. But no, I totally agree. Nailing a kind of like a throwing star in a way, nailing one hit with a throwing knife straight in the head, a headshot with a throwing knife, is the ultimate. The ultimate disrespect takedown is. Yeah, I can see why that would be at least in the top 5.
Now, for my number 3, Andrew, you can suck it, to be honest. This is the one and only Friendship Destroyer. This is the...
I know what this is.
Mario Party the game, just bashing your friend.
Yeah, right. This is the weapon that you are in first place and you're leading quite extensively, and then one of these comes up and ruins your whole day. Of course, I'm talking about the blue shell. You can't beat it as far as the shell is concerned. I believe Andrew disagrees, but I don't care. It's when you think Mario Kart, you think blue shell. This is the most iconic weapon in the game, and you can't get around it. You can't avoid it. You can't do anything about it, and you can go from
that
first.
Sense of doom that it
Exactly.
creates.
You hear the noise and it's like, oh no, trying to go through a tunnel or something, but then it does nothing. You can go from first to last in 10 seconds, all because of this.
And you try to avoid
shell.
it anyway, even though you know you can't.
Yeah, exactly. Even
Try to
hopping
avoid it,
off the edge.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of what the equivalent is in Garfield Kart, but it's not coming to my mind right now.
Not even your Garfield Kart. Yeah, so that's the blue shell. You can't beat that, I don't reckon.
No, fair enough. All right, my number 2. So my number 2 is a bit more of a personal favourite, a bit more of a personal reason why I like this one. Well, not personal. It's just I can't imagine this appearing on any other lists, in my opinion. I just think it's one of the coolest, most stylish, most awesome looking weapons, and it's my number 2 because it's my number 1 for wanting a replica of.
Okay.
And it is from the Devil May Cry series.
Yep.
And it is Dante's Alastor, otherwise known as the Lightning Sword.
Okay.
And I refer to it as the most Tim Burton of swords, because there's something about it. It looks like it has been designed by the man himself, because it's got this little mouth and the swords coming out of it where the hilt is, and it's got literal bat wings on it. Why, I'm not sure, because it's a lightning weapon, but bats, lightning, I don't know. It's just pretty simple, but I just think from a design point of view, it's not powerful, but it is quite powerful. It's basically the first weapon you get in Devil May Cry which has an effect rather than just the physical attack, and it also gives you your lightning ability when you go into Devil Trigger mode as well.
Yeah.
So it has that going for it. It has a kind of imbued power. and it has a really cool electrical animation to it as well. It occasionally, one of the things I like about it is when it's holstered on Dante's back and you're running along, you occasionally see like a little bit of lightning trickle down the sword, which I think is a beautiful effect. It's reminding you, like, don't forget, you got this badass weapon, by the way. I know you're already a badass, but you got this badass weapon on your back, okay?
Yeah.
I'll remind you again in 5 minutes that you got this badass weapon on your back. It's just one of my favorite melee weapons in all of video games. It looks cool, and it's just a beautiful sword overall. I'm not really sure what else more I could say about it, but it's just my favorite sword from video games.
Cool.
That's basically it.
Nice.
All right. So I guess I'll do my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
It's just a weird one. I think most people are gonna maybe give me some stuff for this one.
Okay.
But it is Cuphead's finger. That
Oh,
guy
no.
can just shoot stuff out of his finger with a snap. That's the ultimate weapon. I wish I could just be snapping and just shooting stuff out of my finger.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah,
that's
because that's unlimited ammo right there as well, isn't it? I would have thought.
no,
I'm guessing.
he's got no ammo problems. He's just snapping away.
Yeah.
And he can just
No.
change what's coming out of there. So now my number 2 is Cuphead's finger.
Cool.
It's so random. So it's not like a glove or anything. It's not like something he wears. It's literally his hand. It's nothing.
He does have like a Mickey Mouse gloves
Yeah.
on, but like I'm pretty sure it's just him just snapping and just shooting stuff. I don't know. It makes no sense to me, but I love it.
Oh dear. So for my number 2, this is kind of a shared spot, I suppose. They're both very, very similar. Of course, this is DK or Diddy Kong's coconut gun or peanut pistol. The peanut pistol is still going. It's in Smash. It's in a couple of different games as well where Diddy Kong is in. I believe it's in the the New Country games as well. The coconut gun has only been in Donkey Kong 64, as far as I know. As you're all probably aware, I grew up with Donkey Kong 64, and it is for me, it's a very iconic weapon. You start out with it in the start of the game. You basically rescue the rest of the Kong family, I suppose you could say, with it by shooting targets and all that kind of stuff. I think it's 2-shot kill. So whatever you're shooting at, all it takes is 2 hits and then they're dead. It does rapid fire, and it's really funny because the ammo floats. Like after you shoot it, it goes really slowly. And it takes like if you're standing, say, 50 meters away from someone, it takes like 10 seconds for the shots to get there because they're coconuts going through the air. So, you know. Funnily enough, the gun is made up out of wood, so I've got no idea how he shoots them, but anyway. And yeah, the same with
game logic, man.
I reckon. Same with Diddy Kong's gun as well. He obviously shoots peanuts out of that. And it's a great gun, or great pair of guns, I suppose. And one of the other guys in the game as well, Lanky Kong, he's got like this blowpipe thing that shoots grates. So all the guns in that game are awesome.
I'm sensing a theme, yeah.
Yeah. That is my number 2. Apart from that.
Cool. Andrew, sorry guys, I keep forgetting when it comes back to me. Right, so my number 1.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if it might be one of yours as well. Seeing as how we've gone to the wire. So my number 1 is otherwise known, not famously, by engineers and its designer as the 0-point energy field manipulator. Otherwise known as the gravity gun from Half-Life.
When we did the
It's the only weapon I can think of. I'm not biased. I know I've said many times on this show that Half-Life is my favorite game of all time, but this game's from Half-Life 2, so that's my defense. Which was my number 2 game of all time, or first person shooter at the very least. And it's the only weapon I can think of that allows you to kill someone with a toilet, and a desk and a chair and whatnot. But what makes it such a cool weapon is that it's obviously incredibly versatile because it can literally use anything as ammo. Whether that be a toilet, whether that be a piece of wood, whether that be a boulder, whether that be a body. In the case of the later chapter of Half-Life 2, you can literally shoot someone with someone. I mean, come on, you can shoot with a toilet, you can shoot a person with a person. You can, in one part of the game, one of probably the most famous area of the game, completely out of left field as well, almost not thematic with the entire game, is we don't go to Ravenholm stage, where the game just goes full horror, wonderfully, and it's not in any way cheap either. It just fits somehow and works, and it's brilliant, and it's basically an homage to what they were originally intending to make rather. But in that area, they are inexplicably scattered a bunch of giant circular saws, which you can also pick up with the gravity gun and shoot at enemies. And we're talking about weapons here that are just satisfying to use. And one of the most satisfying things about the gravity gun is not only does it look cool, and it's also very versatile, but in the case of some of the more dumber enemies in Half-Life, such as the zombies, you can kind of get them to this one area where you can get four or five of them to follow you down a corridor.
Yeah.
So one of the most satisfying things in video games, and I'm sure you've done this yourself maybe in a couple of shooters, guys, where you manage to get 2 kills with 1 bullet.
Yep.
But imagine doing that, but with a circular saw fired from a gravity gun through 5 different zombies at the same time. Bang! And it's a wonderful effect as well, because they don't fall in half, they pop in half in sequence, kind of like a series of like champagne corks going down the room, but they're zombie heads or whatever, just all going and it's just such a satisfying weapon. It's virtually unlimited ammo, so much fun to use, and later on then it gets like crazy power where you can actually pick people up and throw them around, so it gets even more fun later on in the game. It's just such a smart addition to the entire game in general, from a fun gameplay point of view. I think without that gun, I think the game probably would have come down a point for me, in my opinion, because you do get the weapon fairly early on, so it becomes a bit of a staple of the last like 3/4 of the game, I think. Yep. So yeah, that is my number one. The 0-point energy field manipulator. It might be 0-point field energy manipulator actually. I can't recall, but either way, the gravity gun from Half-Life 2 is my number one weapon of all time.
Cool. Nice. Andrew, what do you got lined up?
All right. So my number one is, it's kind of a cop out, but whatever, man.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
No, it's basically, I'm just gonna say this: the video game shotgun. It doesn't matter like what game it is. Like Doom's got a good one, Prey got a good one. I just love video game shotguns. Like,
I totally agree. I totally get that. Like the sniper rifle from a first-person shooter, it's one of those games, one of those weapons that is a staple of the genre. But there's not much more satisfying than executing a wonderfully destructive, close-range shotgun blast. Hitman 2 is Hitman's another example as well, for like ragdolls and stuff. But sorry, go on.
No problem. So like, Doom's got it. I love Prey. Like, even Red Dead had really good shotguns. And there's one thing, you're playing a game, you're like, yeah, this is a good shotgun. And then you played other games like, man, this shotgun sucks, because you get like, it feels weak, like, if that makes any sense. Like, you get as soon as I'm playing like a game, like a shooting game, I'm like, all right, give me the shotgun. How does the shotgun feel? How does it sound? How does it look? And I'm like,
it has to sound epically powerful.
Yeah.
For me, I think if I was to choose a shotgun, let's do an offset episode on shotgun, guys. Let's do an episode on shotguns. I think the shotgun from Half-Life 1, it might be my favorite, because it has a really powerful feel to it, especially when you can fire, because it's a dual barrel. It's a 12 gauge, which I don't think is a dual barrel, but it allows you to fire 2 rounds at the same time. So you have that alternate firing, that alternate fire button. So it fires 2 at the same time, but it makes this almighty boom effect sound. So I totally see where you're coming from, though. Just generally, the shotguns.
There's something about it. I don't know what it is. It's just like, gotta have a good feeling, a heavy feeling shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There are some bad ones. I totally agree.
I get that with sniper rifles as well. Like, a good example is, once again, going back to Halo. The shotgun in Halo is not good, like, it's underpowered and it's weak. Yet the sniper rifle has this resounding, like, after you shoot, the resounding, like, sound of the bullet going through the air. It echoes, like, if you're shooting even in a town or a canyon or something like that. I just remember doing it in Reach, where you're standing up on this massive cliff and then you shoot down and the whole sound of it echoes around and then comes back to you. It's just feels so powerful, like as a sniper. But as for my number one, though, I must say this is another Halo weapon.
I know what this is.
Yeah, the energy sword from Halo, of course. It's iconic. It's in the TV series or the Forward Unto Dawn film / 4-part thing. It's just so powerful. Like one swipe kill and everybody dies basically. It's
the blue shell of first-person shooters, like the golden gun, you might say.
Exactly. You can sneak up behind people and shove it straight through their back, basically. Like assassinate a what are they called? Oh my goodness. What species is the Arbiter? Oh yeah, the Elite, that's it. There we go. I'm a great Halo person. I know everything. And you can just do so much with it, and you can go on a rampage with it, and the only thing that I kind of don't like is it runs out. Like, it runs out of energy, I suppose, after you swipe people so much.
Fairly quickly as well.
Yeah. However,
A little too quickly.
you can still kill people with it after it's run out of energy. You just got to beat them to death.
You go slap them about with the hilt of the...
Yeah, exactly. And apart from that, like, it's iconic. It's in every Halo game. Do not play Halo 5. Go back and play the originals. Halo 5 is shocking. Play Reach before you play anything else. It's in every Halo game and it's awesome.
What I remember from playing Halo 2 is that it's not quite as simple as just swiping either. When you attack an enemy, Master Chief actually charges up to them, and then it's this kind of satisfying when you hit them. Especially if it's like a one-hit stealth kill. But you don't just like hit. It's not just this cheap animation where the sword is sliced across the screen and the enemy flies back and goes, "Oh, I'm dead." You know, you could be about 4 or 5 feet away, and Master Chief just runs up and kind of does this kind of.
It's like gliding.
It's like almost like a martial arts attack in a way, in the way that it in the way it's executed, and the way it's animated. But it only just makes the weapon all the more satisfying. So I can see why that would be. Out of the Halo series, I would call it my number one. If we were to limit it to that, it would certainly be my favorite weapon from the series. So I can certainly say, generally, from a video game design point of view, how that could be anyone's number one. Of video game weapons. All right, here we go.
That's it.
That is it, guys. How can people contact you guys? What would be the best way?
Andrew, go for it.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff at Duronski. That's DURONSKI. I'm also in the community Discord we have for culturegaming.com. You can hit me up from there. It's just Andrew or easy stuff. I'm everywhere. You can find me. Just gotta look.
Cool. As for myself, I am nowhere. I am the site. The site is me, as far as social media is concerned. I'm
starting to wonder if you are really an AI. I make constant jokes about Anthony being an AI. He's not on so. He says things like, "I am the site is me."
Yeah,
Seems like a very HAL 9000 thing to say. There.
Heck yeah. So basically, anywhere on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere like that you can find the site, I will be there. I'm mostly the one who does all the social media stuff. I'm also in the community Discord as well. As far as like upcoming stuff, I'm obviously working on a review for Just Cause 4. Have fun reading that when it comes out, I reckon.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
it's going to be in all caps and red text.
This game is bad. We obviously have the Power Up podcast tomorrow at 3 p.m. PST, I believe it is still.
That is correct.
If daylight savings haven't messed anything up. And yeah, you can obviously catch me there. I believe Andrew's going to be there as well, correct?
I will. I'll be there.
Awesome. And yeah, that's about it from me.
Cool. So the best way to follow myself myself is Instagram is at level 80 space ninja LVL80 SPACENINJA, and that is where I post most of my retro game collection stuff, and is generally where I'm most active. You can follow the podcast at Retro Rumble Pod on all the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the like. We also got a website for the podcast on Podbean, which I believe is retrorumble.podbean.com. I just thought of that. I should have checked beforehand. And let me just quickly check here. retrorumblepod.podbean.com.
Okay.
If you can remember that.
Yeah.
So you can, but the best way to really get the show is to subscribe on iTunes. It's up on there now. Finally, after much hassle. It's also available on YouTube, and of course, once again, you can contact myself and generally the whole Cultural Gaming team on the community Discord, and all the links to that will be posted in the show notes. And is link to the Discord is also at culturalgaming.com. Just go straight to that on the homepage, and it's right there on the right hand side. Listeners out, we would really like to hear from you. We really would want your questions and your comments and even your suggestions about the show in general, topics. Guys, I would really love to have listeners on the show at some point, especially for list things like this. So hopefully we can do that in the future. So when we get more listeners, we get more responses and stuff like that. Hopefully we can start sort of doing that just to get the community involved as well. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else, guys. I forgot what it was. Oh man.
Good job.
Yeah. So anything. So do contact us. Anything you send us would likely be read on future episodes. That was it. We would love to hear your top fives as well. And as far as promotion and plugs goes, I don't have anything coming up myself soon. We do have. For readers of my This Week in Video Game History articles, I will eventually get around to starting that as a new video series on YouTube. So do keep an eye out for that, and I'll obviously let you know more about it in future episodes. Basically, it's three events from that week in video game history of the episode, of the date that the episode is released, but it's just in a far more interesting video form with videos and images and all that, of course. We will have a top 50 weapons list coming up on the site soon, which we're all contributing to. Pretty much all of my top fives was suggested, I believe. I think a couple of them got in. I'll actually be writing about quite a few, guys. I don't know about you. I think I've got 6 to write about, like the vampire killer, the gravity gun, and a few. I think I got a taser on there as an honorable mention, at least. I don't know. I'm determined to do so anyway.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll use the taser. What about you guys? You got anything Anthony? I know you just plugged something there, but what about yourself, Andrew? You got anything coming up?
Yeah, I got something coming up next week on Tuesday. Look for it. I don't know if I can talk about it yet. But Anthony knows what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. I kind of.
It's the one I went to go see on Tuesday, so that's under embargo until next Tuesday. So.
Oh, I was gonna say embargo. Yeah.
You doing something on that, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little video on that.
Okay, sweet, awesome.
Maybe a piece. We'll see.
Awesome.
What I have time for.
Cool.
We need to do more videos. I really want to do a lot of Let's Plays, but I just don't have the tech. Once I get the system that can handle a video card, or capture card rather, well, my system probably can, but once I get the setup, I meant to say, that I can do it. I want to get a little bit more retro gameplay on YouTube and stuff and things like that. What do you think, Andy? That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. If we can get people to do it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of finding the time, really. This history series is probably going to take up a lot of my time, because just like a podcast, I didn't give it enough credit for how much effort is actually required, because it is a bit of a hassle. Once you're up and running, it's It's fine. So.
Yeah.
But still, even when it's up and running, it's still a lot more work than I think people realise. And a lot of tech problems as well, of course, like Discord crashing on us and internet outage and computer freezing, all sorts. We've seen them all. So, listeners, thank you for joining us. Anthony and Andrew, thank you for joining me again.
No worries.
Hopefully, be on future shows.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
yeah, we'll catch you guys next week.
Awesome.
Have a good one, guys.
Enjoy.